Today is February 10th, 2026, and 21 years ago on February 10th, 2005, my dad died suddenly. I was 12 years old, and it had a very profound effect on me as a human, me as a man, and it's an event that has caused me to do a lot of deep introspection, a lot of hard looks at the mirror. It's been a very emotionally taxing event for me to deal with, even to this day, and I'm 33 years old now. And so I wanted to talk about what happened and, all the work that I've had to do on myself as a result of that event. Basically, I grew up in Massachusetts. I had two loving parents, my mom and dad, and then I have two younger brothers and an older sister, and we were a strong family unit. We were very loving. We all got along for the most part. I never saw my parents fight. My mom and dad were both, really good human beings, very involved in our church in town. My dad was a successful owner of a insurance company, and he worked his way up. He worked hard and was able to provide for us. And so we had a nice middle-class home. We had a beautiful yard on a nice neighborhood. And, he worked during the day, Monday through Friday, and then he'd be home in time for dinner, Monday through Friday night, and then we'd get to see him on the weekends. And I like to throw the football around with him and watch football with him. And he had a big garden in the backyard, and I like to hang out with him and watch him, work in his garden. And, he was a really good dad. He was very patient and loving with me and my siblings. And, everything was really good. And then one day, 21 years ago, I was in the back room with my brothers watching a movie, and I heard a knock at the door. This was around 5 p.m. We were just getting ready to start making dinner. And we got a knock at my door, and all of a sudden I just heard my mom just let out this blood-curdling scream, just screaming like I'd never heard her scream before. And I ran to the front door, and there was the pastor of my church standing next to a policeman, and they had come to tell us that my dad had died. And I had a lot of questions. I was just kind of trying to take it all in, and I found out that he had suffered a major heart attack while at his office, and that was it. He was gone. And my mom was just sobbing uncontrollably. I was trying to hold it together for my siblings. I was a pretty sensitive kid growing up. I just had a really big heart. And if somebody said something not nice to me at school, I would really take it really personally. And it would take everything in me not to cry, because I was just very sensitive. I didn't like disappointing people. I didn't like people being mean to me. And so I cried a lot in school as a kid, and I always hated it. I always hated the feeling of people looking at me while I was crying. So when my dad died, I really just didn't want to show any emotion. I didn't want anyone to see me crying, even though obviously it's an incredibly sad thing to lose a parent. They're your whole world when you're that age. And, a lot of family and friends came over that night and the coming days. They all came over bringing us food and, talking to us. Family and friends I hadn't seen in years were just piling into our home, and it was always the same thing. Oh, how are you doing? How are you feeling? And I would say, I'm fine, whatever. And some people would say, oh, you're the man of the house now. And that was kind of a weird thing to hear, because, I'm only 12 years old. I'm just going through puberty. My hormones are forming. I'm still forming my identity. It's just an awkward time. And then came the funeral, and that was hard, because, we were big in our church. I went to church every freaking Sunday growing up, man. We sat in the front row. We would sing choirs, and we would listen to the pastor talk about the Bible. And at our funeral, it was just an absolute packed house. There was standing room only because my dad was such a huge part of the community. And I saw, again, people just out of the woodwork, karate instructors and coaches and friends and neighbors. They all just came, and I was just sitting right there in the center of the room, just everyone just staring at me, expecting me to cry. And I didn't want to cry. I just held it together. But inside, it was just a very uncomfortable feeling. Here I am in this place of worship where I'd been going regularly since I was born, basically, praying to God, devoting my time to God, saying how great God is, how much God loves me. If I just love God, then I'll get good things back. And here I am sitting in that same place, and now I am mourning the death of my father, surrounded by all these people. It's incredibly embarrassing. It's incredibly confusing, because it's like, why would God do this to me if I dedicated so much time and love to him? And it was very angering. I was very angry that this had happened to me. I was very angry at God. I felt like I had been kind of like deceived in a way. And obviously I was very scared. I was very scared. My dad was the only one in my family working. My mom didn't work. Me and my siblings didn't work. Obviously, we were too young, and it was just a question of, where's money coming from now? How are we gonna provide for ourselves? So all these emotions, all these thoughts, all these fears are just flying through my head, my 12-year-old mind, trying to comprehend all this, and I didn't really process any of it. I just kind of buried it all. I think it was just too much for me to deal with. And looking back, I wish I had made more of an effort to process it. But again, this emotional work, this shadow work, this integration, none of it is taught in school. And so I just I carried that burden with me my whole life. I carried that pain with me, and I've gone to see different energy workers, and one of them said, I have so much deep sadness inside me. It's just this huge ocean of sadness. And she said some of it's from, past lifetimes or, whatever. And I still don't fully understand all that stuff. But, I definitely, I carry a lot of sadness, a lot of anger around. And I think one of the other really significant things it did was it made me not trust God. It made me not trust life. I just felt like God can't be trusted. God doesn't love me. I'm unlucky. Life is unlucky. I'm just kind of the victim in this realm, and God hates me, and just bad things happen to me. That was, I think, just a really deep-seated belief that was kind of ingrained in me at that age. And I think I've been working, I've been doing personal development since I was 20 years old, because I was sick of feeling angry. I was sick of feeling scared and sick of being the victim. And then back in the beginning of 2017, I started doing shadow work. I started looking at these emotions that I've been carrying with me, and I've seen results. I've seen change in myself. I've seen growth. But recently, I've been doing a lot of Joe Dispenza type meditations and been doing a lot of visualizations, and I'm still kind of confused on how all this works, because I always thought that the only way to change yourself was to look inside, process these emotions, and let them go. But now Joe Dispenza is coming out and saying, well, don't look at the past, ignore the past, think about who you want to be and become that person, and those bad emotions of sadness and anger will naturally just be relinquished. And so I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out. And, I don't know when I'm going to post this video, but, I just started a YouTube channel basically talking about my journey of personal development, my journey of, becoming the best version of myself, of self-mastery. And I just want to document, who I am, all the work that I've done, who I want to be, the lessons I've learned, because I've had a pretty interesting life. I've always kind of been brave enough to do things that most people aren't willing to do. I've been able to ask those hard questions, do the hard work, get uncomfortable, because I just want to be the best version of myself so badly. And I think one of the reasons I want to become so great is because of losing my dad. I think in a weird way, it really made me feel like I was special, like I was unique. Like, here I am. None of my friends had to go through this. No one else I knew had to go through this, but here I am. I just feel like I was chosen to be different. And even before my dad died, I always felt different. I always felt like I was special, like I was unique, like there was something about me that set me apart from everyone else around me. And here I am today, I'm 33 years old, and I just feel special. I feel different. I think differently. I want different things out of life than the majority of people. And I've just been relentlessly chasing that for the last 13 years. I've just been obsessing about becoming the greatest version of myself. And I will continue to do that. I am now documenting the process with this YouTube channel. I just want to be an example. I want people to be able to look at these videos and say, wow, that guy was, he was in a dark place, and now he's used the law of attraction, he's used shadow work, he's used manifestation, and now he's a lot happier, he's successful, he's loving, he's full of joy. And I've gotten glimpses of that over my life. I've gotten glimpses of being really, really happy, really fulfilled. And now I just want to make it so that it sticks all the time. I just want to be a beacon of light in this reality that we're in. And so I just wanted to share this video today because this is a significant day for me. I've had a lot of other kind of crap happen to me in my life, but losing my father was obviously a huge, huge impact for me. It's made me insecure with money. It's made me insecure with my beliefs around God and safety and love. And, it's done all these things to me. It's had such an impact on me, and I'm still processing it to this day. I think it's important that I just keep feeling the emotions of sadness, keep looking at it, keep feeling it, keep talking about it. Because I used to be really ashamed of it. I used to never want to talk about this. I used to never want to be open about losing my dad because it just didn't feel right to talk about it. But, I've gotten to the point now where I think it's really healthy to talk about it. I think it's really important that I talk about it. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'll probably be making more videos about my dad, but, he was a really good guy, and I do miss him, and I do love him, and I think about him, and I have dreams about him. And yeah, even right now, I just feel getting a little emotional. So yeah, I'm going to pause the video now, but, I'll keep making videos. I'll keep doing the work. I'll keep changing myself. I'll keep working on myself, and hopefully, I can inspire other people, help other people who have, gone through similar things to this, because it's hard, So, all right, guys, I'll talk to you later.